Welcome to Guanajuato, Mexico, also known as the Jewel of America. Now this video will provide 10 reasons why people love Guanajuato. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Guanajuato, Mexico. Population around 200,000. Now just for context, we have a map here. We have circled Guanajuato. Guanajuato is 3 hours and 30 minutes from Guadalajara and 5 hours from Mexico City. Now this video will provide 10 reasons why people love Guanajuato. People love Guanajuato because of Jardin de la Union and Kissing Lane. The Jardin, or Garden of the Union, is the heart of historic Guanajuato and serves as the city's main square. Always bustling, this pleasant plaza with its fountains and flower beds is ringed by numerous hotels and restaurants, making it a perfect place from which to venture out to explore the rest of the city. It's also where you'll find a number of architectural gems, from the beautiful old Baroque San Diego Church to the majestic Juarez Theater, which dominates the square. Also worth exploring is Plazuela de Los Angeles, which leads to the city's most famous street, Kissing Lane, so named as it is narrow enough to allow a loving couple to kiss from windows on opposite sides. These days, a popular thing for couples to do is to climb to the third step as the alley narrows and curves to the right and secure their eternal love with a kiss. People love Guanajuato because of the tunnels. A highlight of a walking tour of Guanajuato is diving into the city's amazing network of subterranean streets and alleys. Built of necessity to handle the often flooded Guanajuato River, which once flowed under the city, the tunnels became obsolete after a nearby dam was constructed to control the river upstream. The extensive network of tunnels that remains were put to good use as roadways, alleviating the congested streets above ground while making them safer and more interesting for pedestrians. These cobblestone roadways also accommodate pedestrians through a number of well-marked footpaths that are fun to explore. Accessible from stone staircases at numerous locations around the old city, the tunnels are a must-see attraction and can also save time if you really want to get to a place in a hurry. People love Guanajuato because of Teatro Juarez. Dominating the Jardin de la Union, Guanajuato's pretty main square is the beautiful Juarez Theater, the city's opera house. Opened in 1930, after some 30 years of construction, this splendid neoclassical building is notable for its massive columns supporting a Romanesque portico adorned with 9 bronze statues of the Greek muses, as well as the steps leading up to the building, a favorite meeting place for locals and tourists alike. The building's plush Art Nouveau interior is also worth seeing for its rich gilded decor, finely carved wood, and stained glass, especially if you can do so while taking in one of the theater's regular musical or dance performances. People love Guanajuato because of the Basilica of Our Lady of Guanajuato. In picturesque P Square, the sandstone-colored Basilica of Our Lady of Guanajuato is well worth a visit. Built in the 17th century and much altered thereafter, this attractive building houses one of Mexico's most important relics and much revered 7th century statue of the Virgin of Guanajuato. This carved wooden figure on a silver base was presented to the city by King Philip II of Spain in 1557. By far the largest building in Guanajuato, the church owes much of its splendor to area miners who sponsored its construction, a relationship that is marked to this day during annual miners' parades and offerings to the church's patron saint. In addition to its famous statue, other highlights include its pretty tower, the numerous relics in the main altar presented by the Pope, as well as a number of important paintings by leading Mexican artists. People love Guanajuato because of Alhóndiga De Granaditas. Completed in 1809, the Alhóndiga De Granaditas is one of the largest and most interesting of Guanajuato's historic secular buildings. Built as a granary and also serving for a spell as a marketplace, the building was used by the Spanish and their loyalist allies as a fortress that was overrun by troops in the first defeat of the colonists who had ruled Mexico for centuries. A statue commemorating the event overlooks the city from a nearby hillside park, accessible by a funicular railway. People love Guanajuato because of the Mummies of Guanajuato. Although a little gruesome, the Mummies of Guanajuato have proven to be one of the city's most popular attractions and remains an important cultural phenomenon related to local customs and traditions. Consisting of the naturally mummified remains of locals who died during the cholera outbreak in the mid-19th century, the Mummies Museum got its start after the bodies were disinterred between 1865 and 1958 for failure by relatives to pay cemetery taxes. Entrepreneurial cemetery staff charged the curious a small fee to see the mummies, and as word spread, it became something of a spectacle enjoyed by tourists from far and wide. Adding to the somewhat grisly display is the knowledge that some of those buried were still alive at the time, hence the sometimes frightened expressions on their faces. In addition to a few clothed mummies, the museum also claims to have the world's smallest mummy, a fetus. People of Guanajuato because of the iconographic Museum of Quijote. Easily spotted thanks to the statue of its namesake standing welcoming by its entrance, the iconographic Museum of Quijote pays homage to Mexico's long-standing fascination with the writings of Spain's Miguel de Cervantes. With a focus on displays of artwork and artifacts related to Cervantes' most popular piece of fiction, Don Quixote, the museum is well worth taking the time to explore. Highlights include numerous paintings and statues, along with tapestries and a wide variety of commercially available materials relating to the story. People of Guanajuato because of the University of Guanajuato. Built by the Jesuits in the 18th century as a school, the splendid University of Guanajuato's city center location opened its door in 1828 and remains the oldest university in Latin America. Located just a few minutes walk from Peace Square, the university is well worth taking the time to visit, if only to see the famous staircase leading up to its fine neoclassical structure. If you're up to it and can make the 113-step climb, you'll be able to see some of the building's splendid interior during a visit to the university's Natural History Museum, as well as its old church. People of Guanajuato because of the Silver City, La Valenciana mine. Once the silver mining capital of Mexico and responsible for 80% of the country's production of the precious metal, Guanajuato's long-standing connection with mining runs deep. Today, these old mines, some dating back to the mid-1600s, are designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and can be easily visited while staying in Guanajuato, as they lie just a few minutes' drive outside the city in the village of La Valenciana. La Valenciana was largely responsible for much of Guanajuato's wealth and the splendid architecture that came with it. Today, a visit to the Valenciana mine includes a chance to don a mining hat and tour the old shafts as part of an English language guided tour. Highlights include seeing a number of caverns and drilling equipment, as well as historic artifacts and tools used throughout the centuries. People of Guanajuato because of the El Cervantino, the International Cervantino Festival. Already a bustling year-round tourist destination, come fall, the picturesque city of Guanajuato really springs to life with the arrival of the annual International Cervantino Festival. With key events held at spectacular venues like the Teatro Juarez, in addition to some 50 other locations across the city, this October celebration of the works of Spanish writer Miguel de Cervantes, famous for his epic work Don Quixote, draws upwards of 200,000 visitors to witness numerous presentations of art, music, and theater. In addition to the performances, many city museums host related exhibits, while numerous cafes and restaurants get in on the act with special menus and demonstrations aimed at celebrating Spanish culture from around the globe. The reasons provided in this video are not all the reasons why people love Guanajuato. If you've got a reason why you love Guanajuato, pop it in the comment section. I'll make another video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Ciao for now!